Hi everyone, I hope you're enjoying your holidays. As we are approaching our winter season, we thought it's a great time to share with you some updates about our academy progress, as well as a brief overview on our roadmap. I hope this presentation answers some of your questions, but if you do have more questions or comments, please reach us either through email or phone number that I'm going to share at the end of this presentation. So let's get started. Here's today's agenda. We're going to start off going over the highlights of our fall season, especially talking about our competitive team performances and the improvements that we made in our soccer school program and some general enhancements in our operations. But also, I want to explain a little bit deeper about our inter-academy project and what it means for us going forward. Then we're going to talk a little bit about our winter program, what is going to be our focus, some of the goals that we are trying to achieve, and some important dates. Then we're going to talk about our high-level plan for the next spring, which is the spring 2024. And then towards the end, we're going to talk about our 10-year roadmap, what is going to be the structure of our academy and adult teams. And also the coaching pathways that we are creating for our technical staff. Also, we're gonna talk a little bit about where we were in spring of last season, so spring of 2024, where we are now, and where we want to go next. So we had great progress across all of our competitive teams, but three of our teams really stood out. So let me start with our youngsters, our boys 2014 under 11 team, head coach, Coach Greg, and assisted by Coach Tony. They had an amazing season and they finished top of their bracket, which was a very tough bracket. As you can see, there are some really good clubs like SoCal Reds, Sporting Slammers, Pateadores, and LUFC in that bracket. But they finished unbeaten with 63 goals scored. And what's really impressive is 4 of the players in this team were playing 1 year up. So they're born in 2015. Really amazing progress. Congratulations to all of them. Second is our U14 team, our boys 2011. They also had an amazing season, coached by Coach Greg and Coach Tony as well. They finished the season again unbeaten with 100% win record. As you can see, they scored 80 goals and only conceded 7 goals. This team really pushed to the limit. So they had in total 13 players on their rosters, sometimes playing with 11 or even 10 players because of some injuries. In this team also, we had 7 players that were playing 1 or 2 years up, as you can see. Congratulations to our boys 2011 team as well for an amazing season that they had. Last but not least, our oldest team, boys 2010, head coach Coach Majid and assisted by Coach Farzin. They also became the champion in their bracket with few teams that are from like a really successful clubs like Pateadores. And when we receive compliments from some other coaches that they say this team is playing the best football, that means a lot. So they had an amazing season. And in this team also, we have 7 players that are playing 1 year up, and they're born in 2011. Congratulations to our boys 2010 team as well. So we had a very fun celebration event in November for our boys 2011 and boys 2014 to celebrate this great achievement that they did. And in the same event, we also announced our player of the season, which was Nathan Garcia. He had an amazing season, really deserved the award. And also something very special for us, Linares family were selected as the parents of the season because of the amazing support and help that they gave us the whole fall season. There's going to be another event to celebrate the achievement of our boys 2010 team. This event is coming up in December. As I mentioned, we had great improvements across all of our 7 teams, especially the returning teams from spring, our boys 2015 and boys 2016. They had amazing progress as far as player development, the chemistry within the team, and also the way they play. Since the spring, we saw major improvements. We are so proud of the work that Coach Farzin and Coach Contaro had done with the kids. And also the two new teams, Boys 2012 and Boys 2014, both coached by Coach Ardi and assisted by Coach Amin. They also had great progress throughout the fall season. The teams obviously formed very late, but from when they started up until the end of fall, we saw great improvements, and we are so proud of them as well. Now, let's move on to the topic that I mentioned I'm gonna explain a little bit deeper today, and it is the Inter Academy project. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of overview of what Inter Academy is, and then we can talk a little bit about what it means for us and why is it so important for us. So Inter Academy is a global project and is a direct extension of Inter Milan's youth sector, which is basically the Inter Milan Youth Academy. And the idea is through this project, Inter exports the methodology that they use in their youth sector to the different countries around the world in order to develop players locally. They have currently 11 countries where they have established academies. US is one of them. FC Rockers, and it is actually the first ever California-based academy that Inter Milan has, and it's the third in the United States after Boston and Richmond. So this project was established in 2008 and is definitely not a scouting project. The idea is to develop the players locally, for example, in the United States, based on the culture, and then creating pathways for these players. So why is this project so important for us? When we first started FC Rockers, we saw a large gap in US youth soccer system. What I mean by that is based on the demographics, based on the talent pool that we have here, and also the amazing facilities that we have, especially in Southern California, that we can play all year round. The youth soccer system in the United States failed to create proper pathways for the kids to develop. Obviously, football is number one sport in the world and is one of the most important tools to develop good human beings in general, not just professional soccer players or creating college pathways for the players. We felt there is a need to change in culture, and we wanted to take a page from one of the most important and most successful clubs in Europe and in the world, which is Inter Milan. The good thing is, as we are serious about this project, Inter Milan is also very serious. Oftentimes you see these kind of projects are just commercial projects, but for us it's very different. So we are very passionate to be part of the Inter family. Now, how do we achieve the success in this project? Like I said, this is a player development project. So we are interested to see the pathways for each individual players. For example, in these 5 different pillars, like psychological, physical, technical, medical, social. So it's very important to follow the structure for age-appropriate practices. For example, you can see 4 different phases of player development based on the age groups. So we achieve those by following the Youth Academy of Inter structure as well as their practice methodologies. And one of the things that really helps us is we have the presence of Inter Academy coach in California. Some of you may have met Coach Stefano, who is here 4 months during each year. And the idea for him is to work with our coaches and work with our players to adopt that methodology. We also have coaching education sessions that we do weekly with our coaches. When Coach Stefano is here, he usually runs the sessions. And when he's not here, one of our senior coaches runs those sessions. But the idea is through Inter Academy coach, we adopt that methodology and we apply it here in our practice sessions. Now moving on to some improvements that we made in our soccer school program. We welcomed Coach Terence to our club in fall, and he is coming with an extensive background in soccer, both playing and coaching. As you can see, played in College Division One, played in USL with Colorado Springs, and also he was awarded the Coach of the Year in Colorado competitive boys teams in 2016 when he was still in Colorado, and he helped run Colorado Rapids Academy Center of Excellence program as well as the coach development program in Colorado Rapids. So one of the goals with Coach Terrence was basically run the coaching education sessions when Coach Stefano is not here. And with his help, basically, we upgraded our soccer school program in fall, and we are looking to upgrade further in our winter league. Now, some more improvements on our operation side. We moved some of our practices to Great Park with amazing pitch quality and amazing experience in general. Also, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, we have practices at Las Lomas Park, which is also great pitch quality, and the practice times also improved to fit everyone's schedule better. For Winter League, for the first time, we have flexible schedule for the parents. We have Monday, Wednesdays, and Tuesday, Thursdays. Also, as far as the new talents, we welcome more than 50 new players in summer and fall. And it's very impressive to know that it wasn't really a season for tryouts. We did have limited tryouts, but most of those players came as referrals or through scouting from our coaches. We also started the video analysis of matches across all of our teams. In fall, total, we recorded more than 30 matches of all of our teams, and we analyzed those matches in our weekly meetings with the coaches. Also, as part of the Inter-Academy project, we have this opportunity to send some of our coaches for coaching internship in Milan. And as we speak, four of our coaches are in Milan taking educational sessions in Inter Milan youth sector with the directors of the youth sector of Inter Milan, and also the practices and matches of Inter Milan youth sector, which is a huge opportunity for us to educate our coaches and adopt the Inter Milan methodology. As I mentioned, we started two staff meetings with our coaches. One of them is more focused on technical and educational. That's the one I mentioned that is usually led by Coach Stefano, or if he's not here, usually Coach Terrence takes charge of those meetings. The purpose of those meetings is for our coaches to share ideas about the detail of their technical sessions and educate themselves about the Inter Milan methodology. The other meeting is more focused on the planning. All of our coaches basically come and we share the ideas about specific player developments, about we discuss about their matches and some organizational discussions. Now, what is going to be our focus in winter? First, I wanted to talk a little bit about the discussion that was going on in the past couple of months about the format change from birth year to school year. So what is the format now? So let's assume a player birth year is 2014 and we are in 2024-2025 season. So 2024-2025 season basically ends in June of 2025. So we subtract the birth year from the ending of the season. So that means subtract the 2014 from 2025 and we get 11. That means in this season, in current season, 2024-2025, a player that is born in 2014 is considered U11. So that is the current format. Now, if they wanted to switch the format, instead of birth year, we use school year, so school grade, which usually either starts from August 1st, of one calendar year to July 31st of the next calendar year. But anyway, so that is deferred to 2026-2027 season. For now, we're going to continue with the same format, and in the starting of 2026-2027 season is based on each league. to decide what format they want to push forward. Now, based on that, we're gonna continue our tryouts, but the focus for winter for our competitive teams is to practice, 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 and focus on player development, because for at least for the month of December and January, we don't have any major tournaments, at least towards the end of January. So the focus is going to be just practicing and player development. Some of our teams will have to prepare for a state cup. I'm going to share with you the rough calendar of the state cup in a couple of slides, but that's the idea basically for some of our teams. Also, we are going to form some new teams. Three of those teams are confirmed now. So our boys under 17, boys under 12, and boys under 8 are confirmed. And we are discussing to see if we have to add 4 new teams, which are boys under 15, boys under 10, under 9, and under 8. Those are new teams. Some more things that are coming in winter. So obviously for our recreational program, we have the Winter League, which is an extension of our recreational program, and the idea is to make it more robust and introduce games for our recreational teams. We're gonna have Coach Ludo joining us, which we are very excited. He holds a UEFA B license, and he's currently UCI Women's head goalkeeper coach, as well as the assistant coach for the UCI Women's team. And he's also coming with a very extensive background in coaching, and especially goalkeeper coaching. So he's going to be our head of goalkeeping coach. We're going to be preparing for tryouts. So December is the first group for tryout, boys 2017, 2018, and 2019 only. And in February, it's going to be opened up to older boys from 2011 and younger. And then the boys 2010 and older, the tryouts for those groups are going to be out in April. Coach Stefano will visit us mid-January again for 4 weeks. He's going to be here. He's going to be continuing his work, what he did in September and October, which was amazing. And there are a couple of things that we are planning for, and we cannot share more details about, but we are very excited about a couple of workshops that we are planning for our parents and also for our kids as far as their psychological development. So stay tuned for those ones. Now, this is a rough view of some important dates. December 2nd is the start of our winter practices. It's going to be 2 times per week, so we are reducing the number of practices. From December 19th to January 6th, we're going to have a quick 2-week break for the New Year and Christmas. January 15th, Coach Stefano is going to arrive, and he's going to stay here for 4 weeks, as I mentioned. The State Cup for the youngers for 2014 and younger is going to start in February. So February 1st is going to be their first match. February 10 is when we start the tryout for the older ones, 2011, 2012, and so on. And the third week of February, February 22nd, is when the State Cup for 2011 and younger will start. And March 1st and March 15 are the dates for the finals for the State Cup. Now, a very brief high-level plan for the spring. We obviously will have another update for you before the spring to talk a little bit more details. But this is kind of like a rough plan for what we're going to achieve in a spring. So the idea is some of our teams that did really great in fall to be advancing to the higher flights, that is going from flight 3 to flight 2. Also, the major tournament or the major competition that we have in the spring is the Spring League. So we're going to be preparing for that. And Coach Stefano again is going to visit us for 6 weeks from mid-March to mid-May, around mid to end March to mid-May in a spring. Now, in a spring, we're going to have tryouts for all age groups. It's going to be opened up. So we have to plan for that, as well as a spring clinic. So same as last season where we had a great spring clinic, we're planning to have a clinic after the spring league finishes. But the most exciting one for me is the player internship in Milano. So we're gonna release more updates about this as we go. But the idea is we send 20 of our players, we select 20 of our players and send them as a team to Milano. Similar to the coaching internship, they get to train with the inter academy coaches and they get to play some friendlies and maybe even tournaments in Milano with some inter teams or inter affiliated teams. So this is a great opportunity for some of our kids, but more details about this will be released later. Okay, now let's move to our 10-year roadmap. So the idea is for our academy structure to look very close to a real academy structure. Obviously, we are far from that, but this is the structure that we are interested in. So in the very top, you see the competitive level teams. So we have three levels of teams. We have black level, blue level, and white level. The idea is we have in all age groups, we have three different levels based on the talents that we receive and the player development phases. We place the players in the appropriate group, and as the players progress, they can move up and jump to the higher level team. So you can view the black team as the first level team, the blue team as a second level, and the white team as a third level team. And as you can see, under 7 to under 10, those age groups, they play in a 7v7 format. Under 11, under 12, they play 9v9 format, and under 13 and older, they play 11v11. There is also an idea to have a semi-pro adult team. So if we follow this structure, basically, we can have a complete pathways for our kids that are coming to our club. That's the idea for our competitive level. In the middle, you will see the pre-club, which is the orange level. The idea for pre-club is when a player comes to our club, maybe without any competitive experience, but they do have talents, we want to place them in an appropriate level where they get to practice with the higher level, but they are not ready for competition. So they maybe it takes them half a season or one season to get to that level and move up to our competitive level. And in the bottom, you see the recreational level, which we will have from under 5 all the way to under 13. So this structure is going to be the same for boys and girls. So as you can see in the bottom right on your screen, we have boys and girls. So total competitive level, we're going to have around 1,000, 1,200 players, and the pre-club and recreational level as well. So total, we are looking at around 1,700 to around 2,200 players by the season of 2034 to 2035. So that's the road. That's a 10-year roadmap for us. Now, what are the coaching pathways? So the idea for us is the coaches stay within certain age groups that they are expert at. This is exactly the same as all the academies and youth sectors that are successful around the world. The idea is the coach does not automatically advance or move with their current teams. This is the ideal scenario, but there is still pathways for coaches. For example, they start at a 7v7 team, for example, U8 team. There's still a chance for our coaches to experience as an assistant coach 11 versus 11 team. And ultimately, we'll see if that pathway exists for that coach to move to basically another format, like, for example, 11v11. Especially for our younger coaches, we want them to gain experience as assistants first, and then after half a season or after one season, we evaluate them by giving them a recreational level team or keeping them as assistant for competitive teams to learn from the experienced coaches. Now, another idea that we want to achieve is to have a technical committee. So each sector of our academy, like for example, the 7v7 competitive sector, the 9v9 competitive sector, 11v11 or recreational level, each sector should have their own structure and format and the leader. So we call that leader director, obviously, director of coaching. And the idea is to have a technical committee composed of all leaders of these sectors. And they come together and they discuss about the high-level plans of the youth sector, what changes are coming, what gaps needs to be filled, and those kind of stuff. And we have same thing for boys and girls. So the directors for boys and girls will come together and they discuss the high-level plans. Also, when we have the semi-pro adult team, the head coach for that first team will also serve in our technical committee. Okay, now let's talk about where we were in spring of 2023-2024. And then you can see the evolution of our teams as we go to the next slide. So in a spring of 2023-2024, so 6 months ago, we had 93 players in total, mostly boys. We had 5 teams in the beginning, U8, U9, U10, U11, and U13, as you see in the competitive section. And we had to drop one of those teams, unfortunately, because the coach left. We also have 3 levels of pre-club and also 3 levels of our recreational. Going into this fall, as you can see, we had 7 teams, and most importantly, the level of the competition excelled. So the difference between the spring and fall is not only just the number of the teams that we had, but also the level of the competition that we had. But obviously, we increased the numbers, as you can see in the bottom right of your screen. We had 145 registered players in the fall of this season. Now, going into spring, we are looking to add, as you can see, I'm gonna just go back and you can see we are adding the U17, U15 second team, U12, U10 second team, and U9 and U8 second teams as well in spring of this season. We are also looking to expand our pre-club and our recreation level. So in total, we are looking and we are projecting to have around 210 and 260 registered kids by the spring of 2024-2025. Okay, thank you so much for listening to this presentation. As I mentioned, if you have any questions or comments, please either email us admin@fcrockers.com or call us or text us 949-414-4286. Thank you so much and have a great day.